doesn't make any sense. Look at it. There's no life to it at all.
If anyone gets bad about movies, it's Mr. Scorsese. He has made banger movie after banger movie, and most of them are over 3 hours long. He's mastered the art of film. He's a legend. And has he done it again? Another cult classic? Well, let's find out. What's your number one Martin Scorsese film? Let me know in the comments. If you can't, I don't blame you. There's so many masterpieces to choose from. Just give it the Oscar already. This is by far the best movie of the year. And I know a lot of people are going to say Oppenheimer. Just know this is definitely the one. And if you think about it, it has a wider audience appeal. It's a gangster film, it's a western, it also has romance. So there's something for everyone in it. But besides all that, this is a true tragedy that's an actual true story. Loads and loads of people die. Innocent people by psychopaths and serial killers? No. Regular, everyday people. And just over jealousy and greed. That's it. There's no complex motive at all. And you think they were the nicest people you've ever met. It's crazy what a bit of money can do. And especially to the length they went to, shooting them, stabbing them, blowing them up. Like what? And don't forget the poison.
Can you find the wolves in this picture?
The way it took over 60 Osage people to be murdered before the government would step in and do their job is mad. Where is justice when you need it? The Osage had an awful time of it. At one stage, the main character was meant to be Jesse Plemons' detective, but then Martin Scorsese changed his mind because he wanted to show the event the best way he possibly could. So he changed the main character to Ernest. And I'm so glad he did that, because it could have just been another whodunit film. And it isn't, because you know from the get-go who the killers are. The film is really about Ernest's conflict within. He's wedged between the victims and the killers. His wife's an Osage, and he has to help her cope, while all her friends and family members are being murdered. And then on the other hand, he's known the killers for years. One of them's his literal uncle. And the problem with Ernest, he's such an easily pushed around person that he'll do whatever he's told, and definitely by an intimidating force like his uncle, especially when his uncle's Robert De Niro.
I want him dead. I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground.
Every single actor in this film gave as good a performance as you could possibly give. From the side characters to the leads, perfection. For Lily Gladstone to be able to hold her own with Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know she's going to get bucket loads of performances after this. I've never seen her in anything before, and she blew me away here. Every time somebody's killed off that she knows, she brings this emotionality, and it's not this big boo-hoo. It's done with nuance and subtlety, and it makes it feel like it's real, that she cares deeply about these people. And just in general, she embodies the character 100%. Every time she's on screen, she makes the count and she gives it everything she's got. She's an Indian herself, so she obviously had a strong connection with the performance. Robert De Niro always knocks it out of the park, and it's no different here. And I'd have to say this is probably one of his best roles in recent years. We all love his mobster and gangster roles like in Casino, Goodfellas, but it's nice to see him try something different for a change. And yes, there's some elements of a gangster in the person he's playing, but there's also a load of other elements to him. William Hale is such a gentleman, but in a conniving, sinister way. And he's such a generous man. But one thing's for sure, you cross him, you're dead. But then I guess he might kill you anyway if he wants something you have. And already that makes for a pretty interesting villain. But the thing that tops it off is the father and son dynamic with Ernest, DiCaprio's character. He treats him like a little child, and sometimes he even treats him like a pet. There's one part in the movie where Ernest, he's demanding to talk to William Hale, but William's busy. He still demands, and then he ends up yanking Ernest by the ear like a little child, and he's like, "We'll talk later, got it?" And then Ernest's like a little puppy, and he's like, "Okay." Isn't it surprising? Leonardo DiCaprio was the weakest out of the three leads. And it's not that he was bad. No, he was great. But it's just, like I was saying earlier, all the actors were on their A game. And for me, it's probably his 5th or 4th best performance ever. Not joking. Do you know the way sometimes you're watching a film and a famous actor is playing a character and you're constantly thinking that? Well, this time round, a few seconds in, and I completely forgot it was Leonardo DiCaprio playing Ernest. I thought it was just Ernest. Maybe it's just because usually he brings this gravitas and style into his films, but because that's not really here this time round, and he does such a different performance that you forget it's him, and there's definitely no go-getter attitude to be seen with Ernest anyway. He's no hero. He's a bit soft. He keeps his head down, does what he's told, and keeps his mouth shut. And you so badly want him to redeem himself and actually be a hero for once and do something right. And you think he's gonna, but he doesn't. And you think he's gonna, and then he doesn't. And it just goes around and around and around.
I don't even know if you love me anymore.
Of course I love you.
And kill these men who killed my family.
Did your wife say who she was most afraid of? Don't do something you're going to regret for the rest of your life.
So overall, Killers of the Flower Moon delivered the goods. It delivered cinema, and I don't mean that lightly. This year has been pretty poor for films. It gave us a compelling story and phenomenal performances. Scorsese, you've done it again. 9 out of 10 for me. Pure joy. If you enjoyed the video, you thought it was awesome, please leave a thumbs up to vote it up on YouTube so more people get to see it, and maybe consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it so much. I'm a small YouTube channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. It would mean so much to me. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, check out my video on what makes the Indiana Jones franchise so special. And if you're a Star Wars fan, check out my 1 year later and/or retrospective. Thanks for watching. System of Horror Film Reviews out.